Up to a certain age, everything in Jill's life was wonderful. She didn't pay any attention to the mirrors. Only a couple of times a day to comb her hair, wash her face, and check her teeth for leftover pieces of food. But then Jill began her teenage years. From somewhere there was a bunch of complexes, huge self-doubt. Unfortunately, all her friends did the same. They were constantly discussing who had how many inches of hips, whose hair was silkier, and who had the prettiest smile. Unfortunately, Jill always lost in all parameters. From that moment, difficult times began. The mirror became her enemy, but it also replaced her friends. Jill spent hours in front of it, looking for a little beauty in herself. Her mood deteriorated every time. Sadness rolled in the evenings, and the girl did not want to do anything in any area of her life. She turned down an invitation to the cheerleading team. It seemed to her that with her complexion, all her dances would look ridiculous. Therefore, she only looked with sadness at the training of her friends. When there was a set for the production of the school play, Jill read the monologue so that the supervisor immediately enrolled her in the main cast. But when Jill saw a more beautiful girl who was also auditioning for the role, she immediately refused. She decided that she would look better on stage. The girl refused everything. Indeed, in any glossy magazine, they only said that happiness goes to the beautiful. Jill had gone into herself, and her sessions of looking at herself in the mirror became longer and longer. Her mother noticed it, and one day, on the way to school, she suddenly asked her daughter to name what she likes about herself. Jill just snorted, saying she couldn't name anything. "Well, I'm sorry, daughter," Mom smiled. "That's the kind of horrors your dad and I are, that you got all the bad." Jill just sighed, not even realizing that Mom was joking. But you do realize that you're wrong, right? That you are already a sweet and beautiful girl, and soon you will become a beauty at all. "Oh, don't start, Mom. No need to comfort me. After all, such words are spoken to ugly girls. I really evaluate myself, and I understand that I will never be a beauty," the daughter replied, and at that moment her mother braked sharply. She held out her phone with an open Instagram page. A woman was looking at Jill from the screen and smiling. It was hard to call her a beauty, but there was something in her smile that did not allow her to look away. "I will not say empty phrases that you're wrong. You won't believe me anyway. Just watch this woman on her page, because several million of her subscribers are better persuasive than my words." Jill just nodded, but the lady's smile wouldn't leave her head. And the evening at home, she opened her profile again. The woman blogger had folds on her abdomen, fluffy curly hair, and the scars from some accident on her arms and back. At the same time, she was not afraid to show herself in tight dresses and swimsuits. Oh, she really looked amazing. So wonderful, truly beautiful. Jill watched her and only admired her courage. And finally, the girl began to accept herself, and even her flaws. And most importantly, she learned to smile at her reflection in the mirror, and the mirror smiled at her. Jill was extremely grateful to her mother, who taught her by example to be happy at any age. After all, if you learn to love yourself, then life will not seem bad. Love yourself. Love life.